Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This is round 2 of the Zenith F1 Esports Championship, and we are here in the desert, blindingly hot desert of Bahrain, and hopefully we can have a much better race than last time, as that race kind of went sideways very quickly. So here we are leaving the pit lane for the beginning of Q1. So hopefully we can I've got much more stability in the car. Last week I went the wrong way with setup. I had heaps of understeer around every corner. So around here I've made sure that I've gone right with the setup, I've not got understeer, and it overall just works really well, and I've got so much confidence in the car I can just chuck it in. But here you are on the first run. Speaking of confidence, I run a little bit wide and invalidate the lap. So yeah, sort of just contradicted myself there, but believe me, I did have good faith in the car. And then on starting my second run I forgot to put in a hot lap. So far not very good start to the session. But overall, yeah, it's fine. We're going through the first two corners now. We have a much better run, and just overall gain about a tenth and a half. And just because I forgot to put in a hot lap, I was already 10th down. But now going through the final corner now, we're 1.5 seconds up on our previous time, which was the invalidated time. But overall, this is going to be a fairly decent lap. It is going to be a 1:25.8. where I know I can go quicker, but for Q1 it's not a bad time, and that puts us in P8, only 5 tenths off Matt 2, who is leading with a 1:25.2. So overall it's not bad, and the only time we lost was in the middle sector, which was about 3 tenths. So yeah, our teammate Grunty Boy though having an absolutely stellar qualifying session, going into P2. So here we are at the start of Q2. We start on the medium compound of tyres, as round here you don't want to start on the softs, as you'll end up having to do a 2-stop. And then your tyres are just going to be knackered. So we're just trying to start on the medium tyres, and I do think we have enough pace to do so. So we're overall just trying to have as much speed as possible and just maintain our speed, as Lucas sets the fastest lap of the session so far, which is a 1:27.1. So here we are coming across the start-finish line. It is going to be a 1:26.9, which isn't the best time on the mediums. So we have a cool-down lap and we have another stab at it, and overall it will be a much better time. So as you'll see, so going down the start-finish straight right now. Overall, yes, already a 10th just in the braking zone. So yeah, we're just already gaining time through the first 2 corners. So it was just a cautious lap, getting a feel for the car and hot lap conditions, and then so we can build upon it. So here we are going through the final corner. We go up to about 4 tenths. We're getting 2 tenths for that final corner alone, and we actually go P2, which is less than a tenth away from Matt 2, who is also on the medium compound tyres. And he set a 1:26.4, so we're only a tenth off. And then Dan Murphy slots his way in between both of us, which is about 600ths off. And overall, not a bad lap. And we do get demoted down to P4 and later on to P9, as people do start setting times on the soft compound tyres just so they can get through. And even though it was a bit touch and go, less than a tenth between me and 11th, we managed to get through, and all is well. So here we are in Q3. Just on our first run, this lap was okay. It wasn't the best of things, but overall we know we can improve, which is the important thing, and we know where to improve. And that's another important thing. If you don't know where you're losing time, that's where you have issues. So yeah, we know where we can gain time, and then we come across the final corner. Grunty Boy sets the fastest lap so far of the session, which is a 1:25.3, and we come across the line to set a 1:25.554. So overall 2 tenths off of Grunty Boy. So overall, yeah, it's a good lap, but not the best. So we know where we need to improve, as Steve is the only person yet to set a time. But overall, P5, not bad, and we're already beating our qualifying session from last week. So overall, yep. So yeah, going through the final corner now, we're building up for the final run of the session, and I'm just going to let you watch this lap, as it does end up being a pretty decent lap. So just let you watch the lap, and
seconds left in the session.
So here we are going down to the start finish line. We come through for P2 and we quickly get demoted down to P3 as Dan Murphy goes quicker than us, but that was overall 25.1. So overall it's a very decent time as Bronte Boy actually goes fastest in this session. So overall a very good lap and very good qualifying session for us. We out-qualify our position by 5 places than last week, so overall it's not a bad start. So the strategy for this race is going to be a mediums to hards, as everybody ahead of us is starting on the medium compound tyres, but Crazy Power behind is starting on the softs. So here we are now for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It is lights out and away we go for the Belgium Grand Prix. We get Bahrain Grand Prix. Don't know why I keep saying Belgium, but we get a very decent start. We block off and use Dan Murphy to block him off basically, but then that Jonathan Cox goes down the inside, and we're actually lucky not to get damage as we hit Dan Murphy. Just with him going down the inside, we couldn't leave him any space, as I do think that was slightly iffy, but overall not bad at all. So we're down into P6, so we've lost 2 positions off the start, but they're 2 soft tyre runners. So overall, not a bad start, as Jonathan Cox actually goes down the inside of Dan Murphy. So hopefully they hold each other up and I can have a bit of a go, as Jonathan Cox sends it down the inside and just puts Dan Murphy out of shape. So we have a very nice run. We send it down the inside and then we have a run side by side now down to this very tricky left-hander. And overall, we don't quite make it work, as the inside does have it better if you're trying to overtake. But overall, not a bad start to the race. We only lost positions to those on the soft tyres, and we do know they're 2 stopping in this race. So here we are on lap 2 now. Dan Murphy's going for a move on Crazy Power, and we're going to be able to just chase down Crazy Power as their tyres do start to die at this stage of the race. And they're probably at about 12% tyre wear now, so hopefully we can just start making some inroads on Crazy Power, and if not, just sit behind him and just stay DRS, and just overall make sure we can build a gap to the cars behind. But here we're on lap 6 now. Lucas retires from the race, and that brings out the virtual safety car. So overall, yeah, I don't think it's going to be out for very long, as you'll see just at the end of lap 6 it comes in. But overall, very, very strange, as we did get a very mediocre restart and overall just lost a bit of time to Flying Saws on the soft compound tyres behind. So we just need to make sure that gap behind us doesn't get too small, so we can defend it, as Jonathan Cox comes into the pits at the end of lap 6 onto lap 7. So and then the very next lap, Crazy Power comes into the pits, and Dan Murphy sets the fastest lap of the race, which is a 1:29.7, and we do go for a fast lap attempt on the next lap, but it doesn't quite work out. It ends up being a 30.0. So here we are now on lap 13. We come into the pits. It's going to be for the hard compound tyres, but we're also going to adjust our front wing angle, as we were struggling on the straights compared to Dan Murphy, as he has some alien straight line speed. I don't know where he gets it from, but we're trying to compete with that just so we can have a chance at catching him. But overall, we come out of the pits and he's already got a 3-second gap to us, and he's actually gained time in the pits, and Flying Saws comes out ahead of us on the medium compound tyres. So overall, Flying Saws doesn't have to technically pit, but going from lap 7, he's going to have to pit again. So here we are now on lap 19. Flying Saws has pit again, but Crazy Power is the next car directly ahead of us, and he does come into the pits once again. So everyone that's coming in, everyone ahead of us is just getting out of the way, and we are back into P3 in this race. So overall, not bad. But as you see at the beginning of lap 20, we have a migrating hosting pop up at the bottom of the session, and then here later on lap 20. So basically what I'm doing here is, when that happens, usually after that pops up, it shows that everybody's leaving the session, and that just means I've left the session, and I have no idea if I'm in the session at this point. And as you may have saw on the top left, my gaps weren't working, so that means at the end of lap 21 yours caught us, as I'm just trying to get the stream open to see if I'm still in the session, as I have no idea at this point whether there's any point continuing in this lobby. But now yours right behind us, 4 tenths. We have a 3-second gap to him, and now that has gone down to 3 tenths, and he is actually close enough to start an overtake attempt on lap 22. Here he goes down the inside of us, down into turn 1. We're trying to defend it, but at the end of the day, there's not much we can do around these first 2 corners, as I have to take a compromised tighter line. So we do actually have some overspeed on him, but he has the DRS on the second straight, and just means that we can't compete with him. He does run a little bit deep, but we just can't. Once again, we do have a nice run, but we can't. We're not close enough to attack him, which is really unfortunate, as I do feel that this is a podium chance that has gone away from us, and overall just feeling slightly annoyed with this race so far. So lap 25 now, we have a chance to attack him. We have DRS. We're going to send it round the outside of Yor, going into turn 1, but it doesn't quite work, as he runs us wide, and overall, and now we just have a little bit of a slide, and that means Jacob is right behind us, and he will be very threatening. So every time we make an overtake and it doesn't work, Jacob is going to be right behind us, and if I can't make it pay off, then he's going to be there to pick up the scraps and get the position. So we've got to be very smart in our overtakes. So we try the same move round the outside once again. We do have a much better shot at it, as we do maintain side by side, but we do have a very bad run, as we do slide a little bit on the exit, and that means that Jacob does get cut off a little bit, and here he is now looking to have a move, but he decides better of it, and just overall doesn't go for the move, and we are now maintain our position in P4 in this race. So here we are now on lap 26. We do have DRS, but we're not close enough to attack Yor at this stage in the race, as that migrating hosting gets ever more annoying. So Jacob sends it down the inside into turn 1, and overall, he's a very late move, but overall he doesn't quite make it work, but he does have another chance going into turn 4. So we just got to make sure that we keep the gap, as we are in overtake, but there's not much point, as past 10% you tend to derate and you don't have any. There's no point in using it, basically, you might as well charge. So Jacob doesn't quite make it work, but here we are on the last lap of the race. Map 2 wins the race, but we come through for P4 in this race, which is where we started in this race, but I can't help but feel this is a podium position that's gotten away from us, and just overall frustrated with this race. But overall, not a bad result. Get in there. So as we look at the results screen of this Bahrain Grand Prix, we come through for P4 in this race with a 3-second time penalty, and overall we had some good pace in this race. It's much better than last week, as we were battling for the podium positions, which is a much better improvement than last week after our calamities last week. But overall, that's everything for today. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and press the bell icon to know whenever I've uploaded a video, and I'll upload every Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 PM BST. So overall, thank you guys for watching, and overall, have a great day. Thank you, goodbye.